Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome to the Wake Up Flow. Another week in front of us. We're going to do something a little bit different this morning. Last Friday, when we did the session, I mentioned that in the member session, there was going to be an extended version of that flow, but in addition, we'd be doing a set of postures at that other member flow in what's called the Zhuang format. Largely standing still, which sounds kind of strange to you at first, but after doing this for several months, I realized that this is actually very foundational to the practice and has become something that I have integrated into my own practice every single day. So it's very simple. The postures a little bit nuanced in how you stand and how you align, and making sure that you're focusing on the breath, but nonetheless very effective. So some of the very simple things we do can be some of the most effective. But we'll go ahead and warm up as we normally do. Put your feet about shoulder width apart. Soften the knees. Upper torso remains erect. Neck is long. You can imagine your head being pulled up by a string to lengthen the spine and neck. And then let's just begin to turn from side to side. Arms can just swing free. The body temp up just a little bit, get a little fluid moving in the joints. As we do these postures, we're going to kind of talk you into the posture and give you some of the nuanced points of alignment and balance. And then we'll spend just a little bit of time in each of 5 postures. They all kind of revolve around the image of holding a ball or a sphere. Of course, a couple summers ago, where when we get to the second posture, which is one of the classic postures in Zhuang in any tradition, and the one I study is called Shen Yi Quan. We worked up to being able to hold that posture for 30 minutes at a time. We're not going to go there for this short time together today. We'll count breaths instead. It's a good way to start and work your way up. But if you were able to work your way up to where you could spend maybe 5 minutes each in a series of different postures, and you just do that consistently for 3 weeks, a month, you'd be amazed at the difference in your own both sitting and standing posture, just in your normal everyday life. Let's take the hands into loose fists and begin tapping. Tapping on the lower belly and lower back. Some acupressure points here in our energy center, what we call our lower dantian. Hear some background noise and see some things moving around in the room today. Our recently adopted trio of kittens are up and active this morning, and they are getting acclimated quite well. Let's take the front hand up the body and begin tapping into the little hollow area, the valley, you could say, where the shoulder and chest meet. This one used in the various tapping disciplines for the relief of stress and anxiety. In the movement traditions that we explore, Qigong, Tai Chi, even a little Kung Fu once in a while, we're usually working with the meridians, lines of energy flow in the body. This point is at the end of the lung meridian. Tap on it to promote immunity. Let's come back down to the belly, and let's begin to shift our weight from side to side. We want to feel all the way across the width of our foot. So the foot is rolling from the inside to the outside of the foot, on each side. And then let's shift the hands to come all the way off the body and turn that tap into just a reach. And at the same time, let's begin to deepen out the breath. The breath down deep into the belly. Breathing in through the nose if you're able. And if you're able to nasal breathe both in and out, that's wonderful. Usually during any form of exercise, even gentle exercise, we'll often find it easier to exhale through the mouth. But the important one is the breath in. That alone will promote the abdominal breathing. You can do this as a little experiment to yourself. If you breathe in, just put your hand on your chest and breathe in through your mouth. You'll notice your chest and shoulders rising. If you breathe in through your nose, you won't feel that because the breath is actually coming down deeper into the belly. And you'll notice as the arms swing across that there's a little bit of momentum there. Your trailing heel is coming up off the floor. So again, we're trying to work all the way across the foot, this time from front to back instead of side to side. Important as we age to take care of our feet, keep our ankles strong and flexible. Helps with balance, which in turn reduces fall risk. All right, let's work this back down to the position we started in. And we'll take a look at these postures. So, stance. We're going to be standing just a little bit wider than hips width. So normally we're kind of in, feet are down, hips width, shoulders width apart. We want to come just a little bit wider than that. Feet pointing forward, if you can do that. If there's any pain in standing with the feet forward, you can go ahead and turn them out just a little bit. But feet forward is the ideal. And we're going to sink the body down. Just a little bit of tension. You can imagine as if you're just sitting back on the edge of a tall stool. So we're not down here, and we're not vertical. Just a little bit more bend in the knees than a normal relaxed stand. Upper body is erect. Neck is long. Just like when we start and we kind of think of that image of the string pulling up the crown of the head. We want the neck long. The gaze is always going to be directly forward. As we move in and through postures, we may move the head to get into a posture, but then we'll bring our gaze back down forward. When I practice, I normally do this with my eyes closed because there's some visualization that happens or can happen. You're welcome to either close your eyes and let me talk you through it, or you can follow along with just a real soft gaze, but it's going to be forward. Arm position will depend on the posture. The key points here, middle of the palm and the fingertips. Those are the ones we're keying on, and how we have our hands, where we have our hands and arms will be different posture to posture. So let's go ahead and start. We've got just a few minutes left. We'll get through all 5 postures. We'll spend just 3 or 4, maybe 5 breaths in each posture. So take a breath in. And as you do, let your hands come up right in front of, just a little bit lower than your belly button. Palms are going to face each other. Imagine you're holding a large grapefruit or a softball or something like that. We call it a chi ball, an energy ball. So let's make sure our feet are aligned just a little bit wider than hips width. Sink down just a little bit. Body is nice and erect. And bring the hands up. And let's hold that chi ball. And we just stand and breathe. Now we call it standing still, but in reality, you're going to be doing some just fine adjustments, side to side, front to back, making sure you feel completely grounded. And we're simply standing. On the in-breath, it's customary to let the tongue float to the upper palate. If you're exhaling through your mouth, your tongue will relax as you breathe out. If you're nasal breathing completely, you can keep the tongue to the upper palate. Okay, on an inhale, let the hands rise to the level of the heart. Let the elbows float out so that the fingertips are pointing toward each other. Then extend the arms and visualize kind of like you're hugging a tree. Consciously let your elbows drop down. Soften your shoulders. This is what we call the standing post. It's a classic move in Qigong. And you're continuously just monitoring your posture. Making sure you're not leaning over. You want to be balanced across the width and length of your foot. On both sides, body weight evenly balanced. And we often spend just a little extra time in this particular pose. Our third pose, letting the hands rise up, come up above the level of the eyes, and then turn the palms as if you're about to catch a large ball. Or you can think of the ball coming at you and you're holding it away from hitting you. And once you have the hands in the right position, then you bring your gaze back down forward. Still keeping the upper legs with a little bit of tension. Body is sunk down like you're sitting on the edge of a tall stool. We get into the fourth pose on an exhale as you breathe out. So that ball that you're pushing away or holding back, just guide it down. And we're going to set it on the water and press it down just a little bit. And it's trying to lift up out of the water, and we're keeping it pressed down. Now, the tendency when you move your arms forward like that and move them down is to lean forward. So do a little posture check. Make sure your upper torso is vertical. You can imagine a line from between your heels running up through your spine to the top of your head. You're holding that ball on the water. And then the fifth pose, we usually go on an inhale, letting the arms float back behind us, placing the backs of the hands on the kidneys, And rounding the hands a little bit as if they're holding a ball that's trying to roll over us from behind. And we pause and take a few breaths here. And then to come out of the postures, just relax your hands back to the sides and step back into our neutral hips width, shoulder width position. And let's do a simple close today. Hands rise overhead, palms turn toward the floor and press down. Let's do that one more time. And as the hands reach the bottom, let them come hand over hand. Place those over your lower belly. Step in just a bit and close your eyes. And we'll finish with our usual 3 deep breaths. One more deep breath. And as you release that breath, go ahead and release the hands back to your sides. Let your eyes come back open. Give everything a little shake. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Coming up at 11 today with our member flow, we're doing a series from the Small Universe program from Long White Cloud called the 12 Rivers. Very energetic routine. Want to get your week underway. Have a great Monday. See you tomorrow. Namaste.